Ha! What's up? What's up, Black Diamond Club? I'm early. Well, not too much. 1 minute early. Where are you? Give you guys a second to jump in here, but not too long. We got a busy, packed day coming up. We have a busy, packed couple of days coming up, and so I want to be super respectful of everybody's time. I don't want to waste anybody's time. Don't want to waste your valuable time or money. All right. Getting a text from my accountant who sees that we were out looking at cars. All right. I got to get to the here we go, to the questions. Oh, nope, that's not that one. You guys push the dang Facebook Live questions down so low. That's what happens with all of your content. So first of all, thank you everybody for participating in the Black Diamond Club. If there's one complaint that I get from people in Black Diamond Club, it is that there's just so much stuff going on. So much stuff. And hey, listen, I can't see your comments again. I can't see the dang comments. Let me see if this fixes it. Nope. Hey, what if I do that? Oh yeah, there we go. All right, I'm in. Everybody's ready, settled in. We've got a couple of questions. First of all, thank you everybody. I want to send out some love and appreciation to each and every one of you for being a part of the Black Diamond Club. Just got another referral in today. Thank you, Shane Zimmer. I believe it was Shane. On his birthday. So happy birthday, Shane. Chris Collins' birthday week. Yesterday was Chris Collins' birthday. We had Bradley Walters' birthday. Lots of stuff, a lot of birthdays going on inside of Black Diamond Club. I'm just back from Australia, back from prior to that, spending a week with some great friends masterminding in Dominican Republic. Prior to that, we had Garber Fest, the Berkshires philosophy event. If you're not registered for 2019, listen, if you saw the Facebook Live with IFCO TV last night, what are you waiting on? You got to jump in. You got to become a part of the Bill Trevin Sniper Unit. We want you to be a part of that, and we want you to get registered. tickevent.com. Listen, so many people. Let's make this shift tonight. Everybody else can hear me though, right? I think we're good. Something's wrong with Dave's laptop. Let's make this shift tonight. Here's the thing, and I've heard Liam Schubel talk about this. Like, people say to him, "How do you do all of these things?" And he's like, "Well, I put it in my calendar." Berkshire's 2019, that's in my calendar already, locked and loaded, registration, tickets bought, hotel rooms reserved. What are you waiting for? Don't have the attitude like, I'll see if something else comes along. I'll get around to it. Hey, just get that locked and loaded. There are very few things out there that, for me, warrant you just committing to. Let's make sure that you are getting your commitments made for 2019. Hey, on that tip as well, while we're just sort of freestyling here, I've been doing a lot of work with the IPO group and some private coaching clients. I think this is what I think that Black Diamond Club boils down to. And we don't really talk about the fourth category very much at all. Sales and marketing, no brainer, right? We talk about sales and marketing. We talk about mindset. I got a great message today from a non-Black Diamond Club member who was at the Mile High conference last year, attended the breakout session with Lacey and I, where we talked about money mindset, where we talked about relationship. And he said, listen, that one breakout session radically changed the way that I view money, and was telling me that his collections have gone up by a multiple of 4 since then. That's last August to now, right? Just with a shift in mindset. Now, of course, I'm sure he's getting a lot of great counsel in a lot of other areas, but that is another big giant cornerstone, is the way that we think about money, the way that we think about our business, and the way that we think about the world around us. And then lastly, there's a fourth element. It wouldn't warrant a whole workshop on this, but I mean, maybe it would. I just don't think that people would jump on it because people think they have this part of their lives under control, but it's time management. And let me tell you, it's not just about, managing your time and getting shit done. It's about scheduling and prioritizing to make sure that you are being effective and honoring your time the same way that we try to be effective and honor our money. So I want to make sure that you are doing this. Number one, that you have the capability, and however you manage your calendar, your agenda, but that you have the capability to be programming something for March of 2019, because that's the way that the real world actually works. I got to tell you, I was sharing yesterday in Black Diamond Club that I had a conversation with Jay, and we were talking about, and I want to see him popping up a little more in some chiropractic events, some real deal chiropractic events. And we were talking about scheduling him in, and he was like, listen, I got to tell you, if you wanted me to be, say, at Cairo Sushi next June, so June 2019, we've got to get that scheduled now, because my schedule fills up so fast, right? Successful people, they're already thinking June 2019, and some of you are thinking like March 2019 is too far ahead for me to plan. You've got to get used to making hardcore commitments, because remember, the number one common trait amongst all successful people is decisiveness. So decide now. What are you waiting for? Decide what events that you're going to. And listen, I've seen a couple of you try this, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to be decisive. And you like book out your 2019, and then 2019 actually comes, and then you start wavering on all of them, and you're canceling all the stuff. No. Decisive people, though, they don't do that. So decide that you're going to Berkshire's. Decide what you're going to do. Decide that you're coming to Money Matters, and then freaking take action on it. Now, the other thing, though, that's on the macro level. On the micro level, I want to remind you how important it is for you to be taking time out, scheduling time. Successful people schedule time to think. And if you don't have thinking time, no wonder cool stuff's not happening in your business, because you're just reactionary. You're in full-blown operator mode 24/7. The visionary in you needs time to be able to sit down and think. Otherwise, you just operate pure reaction. Sometimes even things will happen, and you may have a reactionary tendency, but it will behoove you to say, listen, I can't even think about that now. You know why? Because it's not thinking time. Thinking time is tomorrow at 3:30, and I'll be happy to put my mind on that situation, on that issue, on that problem, and solve it then. Too many people want you to be on their schedule, but you see, that's reactionary. I'm on my schedule. There's a lot of people that don't like the fact that I'm on my schedule, but they don't pay me. And if you don't pay me, you don't get to manipulate my daily agenda. So please make it a priority in your schedule to schedule aside time to think. Let's see what we've got going on. All right, Ray is cold. Yeah, we're going to get you heated up. Laura, she's already committed in for Berkshire's 2019. Can't wait to see you. And I hope that we win the Pappy Van Winkle lottery. Jennifer's going to do some thinking time. I love that. Let's make sure that we get that plugged in. All right, we've got questions. Hey, be sure that you post your questions. I can try and take some more questions if you throw them here. It looks like I'm getting the feed from the comments. Let me go to the questions that were posted. Mark McDade said, I would love to go through talking what we do as benefits versus features. Big topic, right? Because I put that on a podcast recently, and we've also had a lot of discussion about the distinction between marketing and sales. I see this as actually, quite vital and quite critical, because I think that a lot of you get really confused about the difference and when it happens and when you should be doing one versus another. There's nothing worse than to be in a sales environment and you're marketing. And there's nothing worse to be in a marketing situation and you're selling, because they don't even know who the heck you are, and you're selling them. There's zero relationship, zero trust and credibility. I have to know exactly who you are in order to make a sales offer, right? I give you an example of this, and I don't know if Dan Bay could share this, but Dan had posted in his presentation in Berkshire's, and he was showing a lot of these different advertisements. But one of the advertisements basically had two really good looking, a couple, and they were basically nude in the way that they were configured. I think they were like hiding their parts. And it was really funny because the commentary, Dan says, "I don't know what you're selling, but I'm buying." And everybody laughed. But listen, if we could find that ad and post it up, here's the problem, is that that was actually a very poor piece because of the commentary. "I don't know what you're selling." Bad marketing. You just wasted advertising dollars by putting some image up that nobody even knew what the hell it was. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you sell. Now, maybe they would say you're not my target market. Maybe. But listen, if that's the reaction, this is not the desired reaction. If you're saying specific chiropractic center and people are like, "I don't even know what the hell that is," we still have marketing to do. We can't move to sales because they don't even know who the hell we are. They don't trust us. They don't know what we do. They don't know what we stand for. So we still have some marketing to do. Remember, marketing creates awareness. Once awareness is created, then we can move to sales propositions. Now, in both areas, we want to be focused on benefits over features, right? Benefits over features. Now, I got to tell you, Lacey and I were out doing some reconnaissance research today. And again, I strongly encourage all of you to do this. All of you. So here's what happens is I say you should do this, and people are like, yeah, that sounds good. And you think about it theoretically, but you don't actually do it. You need to go out and shop for high-end cars. Listen, if you want to break through features and benefits, you can see this distinction there. My favorite experience today, we visited the BMW dealership, we visited Porsche, we visited Maserati, Alfa Romeo. My favorite of all of those was actually Porsche. They were like, "You want a Porsche? Buy it." Here, and they didn't tell us the benefits the features. And listen, I've said this a million times. You've got to understand this in order to understand the context here. I'm not a car guy. Like, all I want is for my car to have really cool stuff, right? I want it to, have the heated seats. I want it to, be able to look at Facebook on that little thing there. I want it to read me my text messages. I want the cool stuff. I could care less what the torque is. I don't even know what that means. It's the torque or the horsepower. Shane Smith posted up there 600 horsepower. I don't know what that means. Is that good? I have no idea. We drove the Maserati, and that's a fast car. And and even in the SUV, and I was like, "Lacey, you should drive this," because I don't drive it that hard. I mean, I'm more interested in all the things that are happening and on the screen. The torque and the horsepower, those are features. And if you were knowledgeable in the area, that would mean something to you, and we could discuss features, benefits, how it drives, how it makes you feel, how it makes you look. I noticed that Nancy on the Maserati said you'll turn a lot of heads with that one, right? How do you feel in it? Can you see yourself in this car? This car is great for someone like you. They ask you, what do you do? What's your job? They're trying to figure out what the benefits. Do you have children? Do you need space, cargo space? Do you play golf? Plenty of room in the back for more than 2 or 3 bags of golf clubs. You're going to be fine. You could put a child in and out, or you don't need to put a child in and out. You need extra safety, or you're not very worried about safety. You're worried about performance, the numbers, the gas mileage. Those are features. So always discuss benefits. And I think that what we are lacking here is a discussion and ideal client, target market, who you are, what you stand for, who you help, and what you help them do. You should have all of those, boom, at an instant. But what about the benefits of what it is that you provide the world? Do you have a running list of all of the benefits, and make sure that you're bringing these up? People always want scripting things. Like, you hear your own clients talking about the benefits, and you repeat them back to people. And you'd say something like, "Listen, one of the things that I've noticed," right? And so even this is what the salespeople say at the car dealership. What I've noticed is that a lot of people really like this car because it holds its resale value. All right. And they're not telling you it's different. They're not saying, hey, listen, this car holds its resale value. This is what I've noticed. One of the people even said to us at the dealership, at the Maserati dealership, feel free, even if you don't buy a car from us, to come back and hang out. A lot of our clients just love to come and hang out in the showroom, and we really appreciate that. A benefit. The BMW dealership said, hey, listen, on Saturdays, free car washes. You know, you're from the West Coast, get used to having salt and junk on your car. Let me offer you that. And that way your car is not, you could buy a black car and we'll take care of the wash. Benefit. So all of these things, yeah, everybody's voting the Maserati, huh? That's in first place right now. I got to tell you, and to be honest with you, they're giving us a great deal, and I bet we can get an even better deal from them. So benefits over features. You've got to talk and you've got to market benefits. Like, you're not going to market a feature. And, you know, and I always say this is the easiest. If you're a chiropractor, listen, upper cervical specific, that's a feature. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? I do network. Okay, that's a feature. What's the benefit of you doing network? Is it faster? Does it get better results? Is it quicker? Is it gentler? Will it make me feel better about myself? Well, what am I going to get when I actually engage in whatever it is that you have to offer? Start making a list. Listen, no matter what you're doing, like, hey, and this is actually really great, for someone like Jennifer Trent. What's the benefit of me buying a t-shirt from you? I could buy t-shirts anywhere. Well, this one says life is great on it. Okay, well, that's a feature. What's the benefit? And we have, regardless of how you feel about it, those chiropractors, are just going bonkers for that. I don't know how you say it, nalu, the kids selling, because that's all benefit based. What they're doing is they're putting into you, who cares what the thing is? Who cares what the clothes is? You want to be a part of us. Oh, okay. And then people buy it. And chiropractors are some of the most gullible people on the planet. So I can see how that would work. So, Jennifer, you got to figure this out, right? And just because it's got a cool slogan on the shirt, that's not enough. What's the benefit? Market the benefits. Sell the benefits. Mark also says, signs it's time to increase fees. For example, if more than 50% of people choose to start doing full prepay for initial care, hey, listen, I don't even like that number going above 20%, right? If we're putting a prepay option in front of people, 20%, remember this BDC principle, your fees should make your clients and you slightly uncomfortable. So listen, that's one. If you're not at all uncomfortable with what you're charging, there's a problem. I love Jen Steinberg had posted up there, about, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was golden. I don't want to try to say it because I'll wreck it. Roll back and see what she posted about your fees, because, that's absolutely true. You should never be fully comfortable with where you're at. You got to be slightly uncomfortable with the fee. And I like 20% on the prepay. When you're putting the fee out there and they're like, well, yeah, I'll prepay that right now. I got that money in my pocket. You're too low for what you do. And listen, that's one of the things why I need for you to understand. The reason why I can make that statement is because there's nobody in BDC selling widgets. We're not doing stuff. We're not providing services of minimal impact on the world. I know every single one of you is providing a high level, high impact service. That's why you're in BDC. And as such, you need to be charging accordingly. And people shouldn't just have the money for that in their pocket, right? And likewise, again, let me just tell you this too. Hey, you got to go and you have to go this weekend and shop some high-end cars. So if you have the dream car that you've always wanted to drive, go drive it. And not only that, watch the sales experience and ride the sales experience as far down that line as you can go. One of the things that I loved, I got to tell you, in all of the dealerships that we went to, every single one of them offered us something to drink. But I will tell you the distinction in Porsche. Porsche said, we have a refreshment center. Feel free to help yourself. What? You're not even going to get me a drink? I got to get my own drink? Because they were playing the angle of, dude, we're Porsche. we don't have to sell you. You want a Porsche, you go buy a Porsche. Even Maserati worked a little bit harder for that, but I got to tell you, it was effective and on that high end level. And see, that's where I think that you also need to compare and contrast it to be very healthy. It's very healthy for you to go and shop a Honda, a Hyundai. Jennifer Trent was talking about the Honda that I drove. Listen, that's a great story too. Talk about target market. I used to drive a Honda Accord hybrid, and I thought that like in California, like that was like people were going to be like, dude. And I had a hookup. I played golf with the general manager at the Honda place in Fremont. He called me up. He was like, because there was a tax break. It was on December 31st. I went down there, buy the Honda, and I was like, dude, the Californian people are going to be like, this, you're legit California. And then I found out that people had an issue with it because of the batteries. Like, what are you going to do with the batteries? I was like, you got to be kidding. Haven't owned a hybrid since. Listen, you drive the car that you want. Again, don't be on someone else's agenda. I'm not telling you that, hey, I'm perfect, because I've learned a lot of this because I was like, and now I'm stuck with this Honda Civic hybrid. That was really, really dumb. I don't know what they did with the batteries. I'm not that kind of guy, but I guess it's bad. I guess maybe it's worse for the environment than the gas. Go figure. So you got to go and you've got to check out the difference in the sales strategies at a Honda dealership versus a high-end, whatever car your dream car is, and you've got to ride that out. But here's the other thing. I need you to ride the sales process as far down to the end as you possibly can, because I want you to see how comfortable the salespeople are with the pricing. They're like, hey, dude, this is what it is, $100,000. Here's what we could do. This is, and so I want you to see that as a report of findings or as a doctor's report, as they just come back and cool as a fan, drop that financing plan right in front of you, the lease plan. We were looking at lease and buys, and they're like, here, this is where it rolls in at here. And they're not weird about it. They're like, if you want to drive the Maserati, here's what we're looking at, sir. And then they shut up. They're great at it. They're like, and then you like him and haw, and you figure it out and you have some way out. And then they're great because they also know, hey, this is not the end. Now that's different. I think we have a question coming up about that. That's going to be different in your case. So raise your fees. Hey, I even say, listen, most of you, I would blanket statement, most of you in Black Diamond Club, you could afford to raise your fees $5 on Monday. Just raise them by $5. Watch your revenue go up. Just that right there alone will more than pay for Black Diamond Club. You want a stupid tip that'll make you a lot of money, just do that. Raise your fees by $5 on Monday. That's going to produce a 10x ROI on your Black Diamond Club. Post that on your Facebook page. We just 10x'd our ROI on Black Diamond Club in like 30 seconds in a Facebook Live. I sound like the snake juice guy. So what are some retention goals to shoot for in a healthy practice? Strategies to increase long-term retention. Hey, listen, two things I want to encourage all of you to consider tonight. We work in chiropractic so hard. Listen, just scroll through and listen, that's not fair. And not in any healthcare industry. We work so hard on mining new patients. So look at all of the posts in Black Diamond Club, social media, all of the angles, because we're looking for new patients. Everybody wants more new patients. And then what we want is super cool day 1 and day 2 strategies, right? And so we have seminars on how to get new patients. We have seminars on day 1, day 2. There are no seminars, to my knowledge, on day 3 through day 506. None. 2 things I want to encourage you on. Just because there's no seminar does not mean that you're lacking or that you're not lacking in that area. I want you to think about, you have strong marketing systems, strong sales systems. You've got scripts on how to answer the phone, scripts for day 1, scripts for day 2. Do you have script for day 14? No. In most cases, you have very weak retention systems and very weak referral systems. And in fact, you have retention gimmicks and referral gimmicks. You need strong retention systems that roll in the background, just like answering the phone, that everybody's on the same page and the retention systems are rolling. So listen, first of all, I want to make sure that I'm not talking gimmicky stuff here. Like, send them a flower. No. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that if I commit to care and I then make it to day, say 3 or 4 or 5, at some point early on, maybe you do reward me with some very nice, impressive gift in recognition of my commitment to my own health and to doing something about that. That would be great. And maybe it's branded with your company name. And I would post that on my Facebook page. I would be super pumped. And, people send me gifts. I post them on my page. I love it, right? We send people birthday gifts. They post them on their page. They love it. So, I mean, and again, that's just a lab, right? Watch. I mean, because everybody else is posting it, I send you a birthday gift. You kind of got to post it now, right? I mean, they said, I wonder, did you get it? Right? That's just normal human psychology. I'm just actually talking about it to the people who are doing it. Right? Chris Collins posted his today. Hey, look, this is what I got. And all my private clients, all Lacey's private clients, all our IPO members, we send you a birthday gift. We're about to switch up the gift for the year. We like to pick out cool stuff. We like it to be reflective of who you are and who we are. It would be appropriate at some point early on as a retention strategy to send them an appropriate gift. But what about scripting? What about, here's the other thing, like everybody's all hyped up on the email sequences and cool things like Infusionsoft. But what about United States mail? The old-fashioned handwritten card that might come, at the completion of 12 visits that says, congratulations. I'm super proud of you. I mean, are you encouraging your patients, or are you just there like watching the results and just, reveling in your greatness? Or, can you imagine that you had a child and you never encouraged them along the way? Do you think that they would, turn out really grateful, really appreciative of their upbringing? I just heard that today, and I don't know where I heard it, but I heard somebody say, listen, as a child, I did not receive a lot of positive encouragement, and that affected me as an adult. Okay, well, what do you think then that your actual patients need? I mean, are they just ATM machines that walk in and you press them on the head and like that's your pin and then money flies out of them? Or how about a little bit of encouragement as a retention strategy? What about referral strategies where you intentionally are engaging them systematically along the way and planting seeds to empower them to make referrals, but not only to just, think of people. Let me tell you the number one issue that you're facing, why you're not receiving referrals, is because people don't know how. Not because they don't want to, not because they don't like you or like the care. They're just kind of clueless on how to make a referral. Watching Black Diamond Club, how many times people ask me, how do I send somebody to sign up for Black Diamond Club? It's the most baffling question in Black Diamond Club, because the way that your referral gets into Black Diamond Club is the same way that you got into Black Diamond Club. There's a website, www.blackdiamondclub.com. You sign up there. That's where you signed up. That's where they sign up. But the fact that we get the question, so I'm not knocking the question, I am opening your eyes in the laboratory of Black Diamond Club that even though you signed up through that website, it's lost on you exactly how you did it, and you still come back and you say, how do I refer people to you? If that's going on in Black Diamond Club with extremely intelligent individuals like you, imagine how your clients feel. They're like, man, I remember going to a class. I'm not really sure. Do you have to go to that neurodevelopmental thing first and then you sign up? Or like, what if they don't have neurodevelopmental disorders? I don't want to send my friend Bob, who's 45 years old, to that. Is that the only way in? How does somebody become a patient? Are you informing them regularly? Are you equipping them? Are you putting the tools in their hands that they can then help other people? It could come in the form of email. It could come in the form of snail mail. Oh, I was talking about that. What about critical crossroads where you send people stuff in the mail? Because if you send them cool stuff in the mail, that stuff gets opened. What stands out gets remembered. Just another email when I've gotten 46 emails from Seth Godin and Jay Abraham and Michael Port and Tristan, and Danny sent me 4, and it's on and on. And then your email is trying to get snuck in there and you want to tell me something really important. You've got to be kidding yourself. That's why this week in the podcast, I said you've got to run that circle of life 3 times, baby, before you can even think that somebody saw it. Like, you're just selling yourself so short. You've got a great message and you just like walked into a crowded bar and said, Shawn's here. Well, nobody even heard you. You've got to make a statement. You've got to figure out how to stand out. But again, remember, I want you to stand out with retention strategies. I want you to stand out with referral strategies. You could build your entire business off of referrals alone, but you don't have strategies and you're looking for a shiny object, and there is no, I don't want to say something bad. There is no how to get referrals, no cheesy how to get referral seminar. And I'm not knocking anybody that's in our circles here, but I mean, there's these dumb things, right? And these the art of getting referrals. If we don't have that, then then you're not all fired up about it. Let's get fired up about it before the rest of the people clue in to the fact that you could build $1 million business off of referrals alone. But you can't do that. You can't do that if you don't have systems, referral systems. I had to calm down a little bit. Let's see what's going on here. We got Addison talking to the whole specific gang. Nice to have everybody in here. We're heading out to Dallas tomorrow. We're going to rock and roll tats. This is my last year teaching tats. So listen, if you're hanging out in Black Diamond Club and maybe you made a commitment to Andy or you wanted to take tats with me, this is it. We're going to be turning over the baton to some really capable individuals. And so make sure that you jump in though if you want to hang out with me. Amazing service at the Mercedes dealership. Yeah, and that's a benefit. Right. I mean, and that's something that you think about, like, what's the service like? Are you going to give me a loaner car? Like, you're going to give me a car that's not my car to drive when my car is actually broken. Oh, yeah, don't worry about it. Your car can break all the time, and I'll give you another car. And you're like, wow, that's a great benefit. And so I'll buy a car that's notorious for breaking down like a Jaguar, as long as you're going to give me the benefit of a loaner car every couple weeks when I got to bring it in here. We got some tips on learning about target market. Book Yourself Solid. Awesome place to start those exercises there. Yes, Jen, you need to get to money matters. You could have a broken Breitling watch. Some people value that. Some people don't. Some people wear high-end luxury watches, and the damn things don't even run. You got to check. You got to ask people when you see their nice watch, like, hey, what time is it? And see if they'll actually look at it and that watch is actually going. And yes, Ray, lumpy mail. When you get lumpy mail, it goes to the top. That's what gets open. What stands out gets remembered. Hey, think about that on everything you're doing. What stands out gets remembered. You're the only guy wearing a bow tie. What stands out gets remembered. You're the guy that's dressed sharp amongst all the guys wearing jeans and untucked shirts. What stands out gets remembered, right? Ray O'Cone's got that down to a science. Hey, listen, if you're a student and you roll to school every day wearing a shirt and tie because you're a professional or a professional, that gets remembered. Believe me, you're going to get some favoritism from your instructors because they know who you are. You send your instructor a handwritten note at midterm time saying, hey, man, I really appreciate what you bring to the class. That'll get remembered. What stands out gets remembered. So Mike asks the question, when people don't close, there's an obvious disconnect in either perceived value, perceived need, trust, communication, or something else. All right, so first off, Mike, we need you to commit right now. Commit sales workshop. So first of all, when people don't close, typically what's happening is we have a sales offer disproportionate to the amount of trust that we've earned, right? Listen, in the profession of chiropractic, everybody's value. We're trying to create value. Value in the absence of trust, you're screwed. Right? Hey, I've got this amazing thing. I talk about this all the time. Hey, I just bought the Maserati. I drove it for a day. Not sure I like it. I'm selling it now for $40K. Okay, the value's there because it's a Maserati. I didn't have to build the value. And everybody's posting on here, yeah, the Maserati, awesome. The value's there, but you don't trust me. You're like, wait a minute. And it's gone. So listen, you could build value all you want, but value in the absence of trust, no deal. Let me also tell you this. Trust in the absence of value, deal. Trust in the absence of value, deal. Value in the absence of trust, no deal. So basically what we have is a disproportionate sales offer when we don't close, or we have an uncovered objection. Remember we said that, listen, in all the training that we do, that's why we incorporated that in the BDC sales ladder, handling objections in advance, because the biggest objection, the hardest objection to overcome is the objection that they never tell you. So there could be unsaid objections. Listen, somebody tagged Chris Collins here because he and I were talking about this just today. It's the unsaid objection that will kill you. So if we're going to be good at sales, we're picking apart the objections before they even have an opportunity to voice them. And again, I've given you so many tools on how you uncover that. There's the Amazon spy game. There's the Yelp spy game. There's the listening to your existing customers. There's all of the tools that I give so that I know the objections before they voice them, and I blast those objections to outer space before they even have a chance to have them. But listen, if I've run through all of my handling objections in advance and I come to the close and they still have an uncovered objection, I'm in trouble until I can uncover it. And so that's why we utilize the Jordan Belfort strategy of looping. We don't just walk away when somebody says, I need to think about it. We loop until I uncover that. I start digging until I find the real. I don't assume, I don't guess. I get you to tell me the objection, and then I blast that objection to outer space, and then I come back and close. Listen, man, this stuff is so powerful, so powerful. It's scary once you get good at it. So Mike is saying, listen, they didn't close, but they actually chose you for a particular reason. What's the best way to keep the fire stoked for non-closers so that they can come back in the future? Emails, etc. And how much energy should I invest on the non-closes? So first of all, I'm seeing this a lot. Grant Dennis, he's my baseball consultant here. Very good baseball player through college. He educates me on the game. And, he gave me a primer the other day about baseball and watching the relationship between the pitcher and the batter. Absolutely fascinating, right? Because I didn't know this, but, there's a whole strategy, and the batter is like kind of trying to figure out what pitch the pitcher's going to throw, and the pitcher's trying to like get him off guard. I would just stand there and like try and hit the thing, right? And they're playing this game of cat and mouse. And sometimes in that game of cat and mouse, with no runners on base and 2 outs, the batter will just take a strike right down the middle and then walk back, because there's nothing on the line. But what they're doing is they're setting the pitcher up for the next time they come back to bat. And I didn't know that. I'm like, that's pretty fascinating. It makes the game a lot more interesting. But one of the things that I want to share with you is if the pitcher throws a curveball and you are looking for a fastball, and so, that thing breaks off the corner of the plate and you swing and you miss, the question in essence that you're asking is, how do I go back and hit that pitch? You don't. I mean, the pitch hit the catcher's glove. You swung at that and you missed. You don't try and hit that ball again. The catcher throws it back to the pitcher and you get another shot. That's why it's looping, right? We're not going to try. So many times I see people swing and miss on a sales close and then try and run back and like grab the ball from the catcher. Like, oh, I want, like, no. You swung and you missed. Dude, own it. you missed. You were thinking fastball. They threw curveball. They tricked you. That's it. But here's what we do get to do is we get to say, got it. I didn't even know you had a curveball. So probably now you're going to come back with the fastball to try and loop me out, and then you're going to hit me back with the curveball, and that's looping. I start to figure out what the rhythm is, what the pattern is in the target market, not that particular individual. So with the individuals that don't close, I would throw them onto my regular communication cycle. I just want to basically move to what's called top of mind awareness marketing, which basically says I'm still here if you need me. Listen, I know that you were here. I know that you wanted my care, and I know that I really fudged that up bad, but I didn't go anywhere, and I can still help you. Give me another shot. Just give me one more shot. Give me another at bat. But I can't go back. See, this so many times, like, well, should I call them? No, dude, you like totally swung and missed. Like, no, like chasing them around like a puppy dog. No bueno. But we prep for the next person because now we've become aware of what the hidden obstacles are. And then if this is a common obstacle, I start batting that obstacle out of the way before I even get to the close. And I'm learning from experience. That's something that's really trippy, right? You have machine learning now. Oh man, you got to use the concept yourself. Machine learning. I saw the situation. I'm not going to end up in that situation again by leveraging sales strategies that I learned through things like the Black Diamond Club, through Close for Chiro, whatever it is that you need to arm yourself. with strategies so that you can be effective in that scenario, right? If you don't know how to swing a bat, don't step into the batter's box. Like, get the fundamentals down. So that's what we're doing at the BDC sales workshop. That's what Close for Kairos is. It teach you the fundamentals. It can't teach you every possible scenario. Maybe, this particular pitcher's slider behavior, you can't have seen every pitch known to man. But you do understand the basic fundamentals. And when you see it and you swing and you miss, you're like, wow, I've never seen that before, but now I have. And machine learning says, and now I'm ready for it if you want to throw it again, right? So learn from those scenarios where you don't close. Nothing worse than you to miss out on a close and not learn a damn thing. Like, learn from your non-closes. And then Shane says, have you used strategies, marketing, sales, or business from other profession or industries and applied them to BDC and our principles? Where have you used them in establishing the 20 specific offices? Then how can we best look for opportunities in our businesses? Hey, first of all, and we talked about this last night in the IFCO call, I receive my mentoring consulting from people outside of the profession. It's not a knock. And listen, you guys are in the profession. You're receiving information from me. So I'm not knocking that. But when it comes to business, I look for people that have a track record of producing what I want to produce. We talked about how initially my first, I got to tell you, my first business coach was actually the director of ministries for Joel Osteen's church, because I wanted to know way back. This is 12 years ago. Carolyn Griffith, not the chiropractor. I wanted to understand how they grew Lakewood Church. And, and again, listen, man, that's just how I think. When you see something that's great, like, go find out. So there's your first step. I was like, listen, Joel Osteen is not the most dynamic guy on the earth. And second of all, arguably doesn't really understand theology. And third of all, somehow, even with those limitations, has built a massive megachurch, something that his own father, who was arguably far more dynamic and far more theologically sound, something that his father could not do. How did he do that? Joel was the camera dude. And so I wanted to know, hey, how did you guys do that? What was the thought process? What were the mechanisms? Because who doesn't want to do that with chiropractic? You guys might notice I talk an awful lot about like pastors and churches, because they're some of the people that I most idolize from a business perspective. If you could get over whatever your spiritual bend is, and some of you are like, yeah, I like those guys. Great. But even if you don't like them, you got to give them mad respect for the way that they go into communities, and they've built a following larger than any freaking chiropractor on the planet. How'd they do that? They're preaching a very similar message, a very intangible thing. They're talking benefits over features. Listen, when you want to know benefits over features, you got to get into some Joel Osteen podcasts. Just get on his website and look at what he talks about. It's all benefits. It's no features. And that's one of the arguments against them. They preach benefits. They have and always have something to invite people to offer. What? The world's greatest always have something to invite people to offer Sunday church. You want to build a following, but you don't want to have and always have something to invite people to offer. Well, I got to tell you something. It ain't going to work. If church figured it out, then we should probably wise up and be like, we should get and always have something to invite people to offer. Church meets regularly. It meets consistently. I always say this to people. Listen, not Easter Sunday does fall. What if Christmas falls on Sunday? What if the 4th of July falls on Sunday? Are we still going to meet? Yeah, dude, it's every Sunday. Well, what if, and there's no what if, it's every Sunday. Do you have that for your community? No. It's kind of the same, but it's slightly different. Now, I could go to any one of a million churches in the world. Why do I go to my church? Not because of what they're saying, because if all I cared about was what they're saying, I would just go to the closest one. Not because of what they're saying. I go because of who else is going. I go because of the other people. When you go, if you're a church-going person, when you go to try out a church, you're not trying out the message, because I already know what the message is going to be. Oh, I didn't like that church. All they talked about were cars. I didn't like that church because they were just talking about The Walking Dead. Baloney. You already know what's going to go on, but what you're judging are the people. The community. Were they nice to you? Did you feel welcome? Did you feel like you were one of them? Did you fit in? And if you're not creating that in your community, oh, you're going to have a hard time. You see church running like discount entry? No, what they're running is come on in. Low barrier, no barrier to entry. Come to the world's greatest, always have something to invite people to offer. And then from there, if you like us, if you want to give, feel free. And if you want to give a lot, even better. And you know what? We won't even give you anything in exchange for that. We're going to have you give based off of blind faith. Dude, if you don't see the business lessons there, oh, man. Oh, you better start watching some Stephen Furtick, some Joel Osteen, some Rick Warren. You better start finding out some of these guys that are brilliant in sales and marketing and are killing it. And you know, if you're into that, if the spiritual side speaks to you, awesome. Because listen, they're also, you know, doing a lot of good on that side. But if the spiritual side does not speak to you, then hey, you just got to still give them their props. They've done what you haven't done. Next, I work with Michael Port, New York Times bestselling author. Started out in a gym. Created a system, a whole system, Book Yourself Solid, to help gym owners, and then, you know, launch that out. And I got to tell you something too. Last night on the IFCO TV episode, I was giving credit. Michael also is who gave me my coaching and mentorship in speaking. So if you think that I'm a good speaker, I attribute that to Michael Port. Heroic Public Speaking, that program, both for both Lacey and I. If you go to Creative Live, I think you can still purchase the Heroic Public Speaking course on there for very cheap, and you will see Lacey and I both on there. Very young, not knowing what the heck. That was actually in the very beginning of Lacey's speaking career. So you can really see, as Michael works with both of us, you can see where we were, and you can compare that and contrast that to where we are today. And then lately, and lastly, working with Jay Abraham has been mind-boggling. You know, just seeing the way that he thinks and the way that he operates, the way that he does business, conducts himself, the strategies, his way of thinking, and the way that he leverages and creates relationships. All of that has been invaluable. But listen, I want to close out, and I'll circle back and pick up any of your questions here to wrap up. And I got a couple things to give away. I got several things here I think that you're going to like. So stick with me. Don't bail out if you want to win some sniper stuff. We got some great sniper gifts for you tonight, prizes. You know, I talked about this on a podcast, but I think that what people also, a great example of this, don't really realize is you need to cross swipe and deploy on other industries. You know, the drive-through at restaurants is not a restaurant concept. The drive-through was actually stolen by the restaurants from the banks. So the banks were the first to incorporate, you know, that little tube, like fire that tube over there. Actually, interestingly enough, Lacey and I were at a bank today. So Addison, I took care of that deal that I needed to take care of with you. We were at a bank today, and they still had the drive-through with the tubes. Maybe it's coming back, or maybe I went backwards in time by moving to Indiana, but they still had that. And what happened is that the restaurant industry saw that and said, that's interesting. I wonder if we could apply that to our industry. But obviously, we're not going to suck the French fries up through a vacuum tube. Although, check this out, I saw that at Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A does have 2 drive-through spots, and they do fire the money over that, and then the food comes across over the top on a conveyor belt. That's not a restaurant. That's not a restaurant innovation. That's a banking innovation. And it is in almost every single fast food restaurant in the world now, because it has become the norm. When you see things, let me tell you one that I'm absolutely fascinated by. Ooh, I haven't figured this out. I figured it out in my head. That's the visionary part. It's got to come out. The processor and the operator and me, you got to get a hold of this. But let me tell you one that I just am fascinated by, and that's loyalty rewards. I'm a member. I fly American Airlines. I have executive platinum status with American Airlines. There is a Facebook group that's only for executive platinum holders, and I'm in there not because like, oh, look at me, I'm in the group. I'm in there because I'm fascinated by their behavior. I'm fascinated by how much baloney they will take and still remain loyal. The loyalty rewards programs are amazing because they condition loyalty and allow you to get away with things that you could never get away with if you did not have the program. And I have said, I think I've made it very public. I'll tell you the one that I love the most. And so when I get involved, people say you want to join my loyalty reward program, and not just for, if I'm going to engage them, I'll do it, but I'm really interested in the mechanics of it. And my favorite one of all time is Panera. Panera's loyalty reward program is the most ambiguous, craziest thing that, I think it's a scam, but it's not. It's actually genius, because at Panera, you don't even know what the program is. At least like in American Airlines, if you spend this amount and you fly this amount, you get this particular status, and then with that status comes these benefits, right? With Panera, it's not that way. You just go in and you give them your phone number. You have no idea, like, what are you tracking? Like how many sandwiches I eat or how many dollars I spend. Now, you would probably assume that it's dollars, but I would venture to say that it's not. And then, and if you're not a Panera Rewards member, you gotta do this. This is business 101, friends. You go in there and then you order your sandwich, because listen, if you know me, I don't love Panera. There's too much healthy stuff there, like it's salads and stuff. But I got to learn this stuff. So I'm in there getting a little salad because I'm trying to figure out, here's what happens. I order my stuff. And so they're like, hey, are you in the loyalty rewards? I'm like, yeah. And I give them the phone number and they punch that in. And then they look down and they're like, hey, you qualify. And so I've already ordered. You got to understand this. You qualify for a free smoothie or a free dessert or a free something that I didn't order. It's never been where they said, hey, listen, your sandwich is free. They give me some free thing that I didn't even get. Now, here's the moral and ethical dilemma. Are you going to take the free thing? And they ask you, so do you want your smoothie? Well, what idiots like, no, I don't want the free thing. And so they're like, gotcha, because we noticed in our database that you never drank the smoothie, so we're going to give you a free one as part of our loyalty rewards, and we're going to hook you and make sure that you never leave because we give you cool free shit. And you're like, this is great. They give me all kinds of stuff that I didn't want. And then you try the smoothie, and you're like, oh, love the smoothie. And then the next time you get the salad and the sandwich and the smoothie, and they're like, hey, you qualify for a free bundt cake. You want it? And you're stuck. You're like, well, not really, because I'm trying to lose weight. I got to see my, wait, am I going to turn down a free bundt cake? And then boom, and then you eat it, and you're like, oh, the bundt cake. Listen, lessons for you to grow your business are all over the place. Stop looking at, in fact, here's my rule. If they're doing it in chiropractic, I don't want to do it because it's probably dumb. I want to know what the successful people are doing. I mean, I get it. In BDCs, a lot of chiropractors are not dumb ones, smart ones. And so that might be one place where I would encourage you to get information. But listen, one of the reasons why I think it's so valuable to join Samurai is because Tristan's not a chiropractor. He made his money doing something else. And we can learn, like, dude, in that thing that you did and you made your money, is there anything for me there? Go get around super, ultra successful people and just find out, learn their creation story. Remember, we talked about that in Boca as part of your Maven, is part of your Maven personality, your creation story. If you don't have your creation story, then go listen to other people's creation stories. Find out what you can learn and begin to craft yours. I'm giving away a BDC flash drive. All right. BDC flash drive. You get to vote. Do you want Lacey and I to drive a Porsche Cayenne or the Maserati, whatever the heck that thing said there? I don't even know. This is how terrible it is. I don't even know what the heck the Maserati other thing, the SUV. Which do you vote for? Do you vote for the Porsche or the Maserati? I know which one I think that we should drive. You vote amongst the ones that vote with me. Amongst the ones that vote with me, I think I actually revealed earlier in the BDC Live which one I think. So if you pick the one that votes with me, I'm going to pick amongst them and give somebody a BDC flash drive. In the meantime, here we go. I'm going to check out and see if we've got any other questions. Yes, we've got some Panera Rewards people. Excellent. Free muffins, a whole bunch of free nonsense, right, going on. Jordan Bowen, we have the same thing here. The guy is an arcade and movie theater in his office. Yeah. Dave's telling us that now they inform us what the reward is going to be. Ooh. Well, we'll have to see how that works, right? We try it out on ourselves and we see if that works. An orthodontist here that when kids go in, they get a wooden nickel, then they can bank those and they can buy TVs, video game. Yeah. Listen, I'm rewarding you for having screwed up teeth. How cool is that? The more money, listen, I got to we talked about this with we have a special call for our docs at the specific that have associates. Listen, same thing here. You're giving me 10 grand in orthodontic treatment, and I'm tricking you into slowly accumulating a bunch of worthless wooden nickels and then giving you back a TV that maybe cost, $500 or $600. ROI on that's incredible. And guess what? Now the kid loves to go, and the parents see it as like, well, and we got it. Hey, dude, that was the most expensive TV in history, but they don't see it that way, right? Executive platinum, you have to spend at least $12,000 with Americans. It's the most expensive, nonsensical perk in history. But people go gaga over it. They're like, dude, you're executive platinum? Hey, listen, man, anybody that's got 12 grand to give to American Express, I bet you could not, or American Airlines, you could not fly and give them 12,000 and they'd make you executive platinum if you wanted to. All right, I got to give away a thing here. We're giving away the flash drive here. And let's see, the screwed up teeth. Don't drink the lemon juice because that will screw up your teeth. All right, the BDC flash drive. Well, listen, I got a bunch of winners here, but I got to give it to somebody who doesn't have the flash drive. So our winner for the flash drive is going to be Shane Zimmer, because also it's your birthday. So congratulations, Shane. It's your birthday. You won the BDC flash drive. I'm going to have Alicia get that out in the mail to you tomorrow, so it'll be arriving there shortly. Next up, I have a copy of the BDC sales workshop on audio. It'll be just like you were there. We've got the audio recording. We are selling those now when they come back online. We initially sold them, I believe, at $500, I think. They're going to come back when they come back open for consumption at $1,000. So this is worth $1,000. The audio recording of the sales workshop, and that is going to go to somebody. This is tricky. So I'm going to give you this a space and time here, but somebody who can post up that you are registered for the 2019 Berkshire's Philosophy event. If you're registered, just put, I'm registered for BPE 2019. I'm registered for BPE 2019. You've got to be registered for BPE 2019. And then I'm going to pick a winner amongst those registered. Registering pays tonight in the Black Diamond Club. So if you're registered, post I'm registered. And then amongst you, I'm going to pick the winner for a sales workshop audio recording. I still got to scroll back. Let me see if I missed anything. If you posted a question and you're like, hey, will you skip my question? Go ahead and repost it. It'll put it down on my list and I'll be able to get to it because it'll only let me go so far. We're at 120 comments and I'm just stuck there. I guess there's a limit on that. And so post it up there. I'm going to be at Berkshire Philosophy event. We'll get you in the drawing for the recording of the sales workshop. Hey, I have a list. I'll just do this here real quick. So give you a second. Here's who already is receiving a copy from our BDC referral contest. Anna Olivetti, Ju Hei Nam, Heather McLeod, Chris Brown, Kyle DeLuke, Seth Levine, Tristan Schaub, Sean Carey, Paul Groh, Rhea Comerick, Erica Peabody, Vanessa Green, Allison Asher, Nancy Cooper, Nicole Cowley, Jordan Bowen, Sean Andrews, Jen Steinberg, Caleb Scroggin, Heather Parks, Lula Papadimitriou, the Apfelblatt family, both of them, Mark McDade, Jeffrey Hanna, Alex Giebert, Nick Berner, Kristen Hager, Jerry Shea, Chris Collins, Kyle Florian, Shannon McCarthy, Neil Cohen, Scott Garber, Shane Zimmer, Mark McDade, Grant Dennis, and Scott Stiffy. Hey, let that be a lesson to you. That's how many people referred during the referral contest. We're giving you $1,000 value in exchange for lifetime value of a Black Diamond Club membership to me, hey, I came out ahead on the deal. Remember, what happened was the competition, for some reason, they went to sleep. There was an opportunity. Trouble, listen, trouble never lasts, but neither does opportunity. When you see opportunity, you need to be able to walk through that door. And so, listen, opportunity was there, and boom, we then walked through that door, and we took advantage of that. And you guys responded en masse. All right, we have a winner for the sales workshop, and that is going to be Jennifer Trent. Congratulations, Jennifer. We have you receiving you'll receive that electronically. So all of you, I'm sorry, no, you won't. I'm sorry, you'll receive that in the mail, but it'll take a little bit, Jennifer, when those get out of production. They're in production now. They're coming on CD. So you're going to get a hard copy. And so you will get that in the mail, Jennifer, along with everybody who I mentioned. You guys all have your CDs coming as well. And then let's see, I've got two more things. I'm going to put these into one package, and I've got a couple questions here that I'm going to answer while we figure that out. Neil's not in here, but he referred somebody into BDC. Neil should be in here. Somebody should tell Neil. Somebody should post on Neil Cohen's wall. We were talking about you. We were thinking about you in the Black Diamond Club tonight. The whole Black Diamond Club is waiting for you to jump in because we really think that Sherman College could use this stuff, right? I think they could. You can't just say Shawn's on the board. We need to have the people on the ground knowing this, right? All right. I'm giving away Cairo Sushi ticket. I'm giving away a Mile High ticket. So two separate things. And what I want for you to do is to post one thing that you took away from tonight's live that you are committed to implementing in your practice, in your business. One thing that you learned tonight that you're absolutely committed. This is a public declaration. I learned something and I'm going to frickin' do it. It doesn't do you any good to write it down. What are you going to do? You can write anything, but I want to know, what are you going to do? Those people, post your committed action steps, and amongst you, one of you is going to Cairo Sushi in June. Another one of you is going to Mile High in August. And so, hey, I want to see your commitments. What are your commitments? Post them up. And then I've got one question here. We have Jen Steinberg. Let's see. Oh, we got a couple of them here. Sorry. What are the benchmarks for when to hire your first employee? Patient volume or collections? It's patient volume. It's transactional. Employee hires are purely transactionally based. They're not financially based. It's transactionally based. And so here's what you need to do is in your business, I need for you to think about, regardless of what your current situation is, let's say you're killing it. I need for you to think about how many transactions could I execute if I were all by myself? If it was just me, no help, what's my absolute max? Now, you've got to be realistic here, right? How many people could I absolutely see without like all hell breaking loose, right? It's not like it's going to be super comfortable though, too. Like if I could see, I think I could probably see 50 transactions, 40 to 50 transactions all by myself with no CA in a day. But that's just me. That doesn't have to be you. What you do might be different. The systems might be different. You might move at a different pace. I feel like I could do 40 to 50. I think after 40, 45, 50, I think 50 is pretty crazy. I mean, I even think 40 is pretty crazy, but we get it done. I'm like, people aren't going to be quitting, but we get it done, but it's not comfortable. So I would say, based off of that statement, at 40, I have to move to hiring a CA. Now, the next question, me and my CA are working. How many transactions could we realize in a day before it gets uncomfortable? Now, the answer is not going to be, 40 times 2. Hopefully the CA comes in and allows me maybe to get to 100, right? So I could see 100 transactions in a day with just me and one CA. And at that point, it's pretty full. It's pretty chaotic. Like, the CA's, getting flustered and the phone's ringing and it's okay, great. So at that point, we have to move to 2 CAs. And then how many transactions could we see, right? And you begin to do that. And now there's another component. Many of you want to bring on an associate, and it's the same formula, right? So many of you, listen, I haven't seen this, but I'll just say this. People not in BDC, they hire associates because they're looking for a boost in the practice. I even see, some fools that are like, less than a year out and they're hiring an associate. You can't hire an associate unless you're transactionally full, You hire an associate to boost. You hire an associate because you're transactionally full and you begin to move off of that full level, right? So you're at your full level and now we have overflow. I can't take any more comfortably. And so now I'm looking for somebody that's going to, because we're going to keep the machine running. And as these people come in, we're going to have somebody else take them over. Because you don't view it that way, that's why people get so burned out, because you bring associates in to try and boost you. And the associate's like, that's not my job. I didn't come here to boost, transactions, to boost patient volumes or boost revenue. I thought that was your job. It's your business. You're the one that's, should be most interested in this. If I was an associate too, I would say the same thing that I say to every one of my clients as a coach. So Allison, make sure that you pick this up. Every single one of my clients, I always tell them this. Listen, if my child and your child were out in the street and they were playing and they were having a good time and they were lost in time and space and they were focused on what they were doing, and a car was coming and it was racing towards them in the middle of the street, and you realize that the car was not going to stop and it was going to hit our kids, plural. And you then realize, oh my gosh, this is a problem. And so you run out into the street, and right before the car is about to hit, you realize I'm only going to be able to grab one of the kids. Which of the kids would you grab? Yours or mine? And there's only one right answer, and it's yours. I'd say great. And that makes sense because I would grab mine. But now, as your coach, right now on a Facebook Live, I ask you, whose business is this? Yours or mine? Am I supposed to be more invested in your business? Look how charged up I am. I'm all like getting all like shiny. Look how charged up I am about your business. If you're not equally as charged up about your business as I am right now, then something's off. We're not equitable in the relationship. Like, you've got to get fired up about this because it's your baby, not my baby. So when stuff's loopy doopy, I'm not running out into the middle of the road to save your business because I got to worry about mine. I could be your coach and you could pay me a ton of money. I get it. And I will give you the best advice possible that I could possibly give you, but I still am not going to run out there and save your business because it's not mine. Right. And I think that's important for you to just sort of frame there. Right. And listen, I would say the same thing to a patient in healthcare. Is it your health or my health? Because I'm pretty dang healthy. Right. So my job is not to run around and admonish you. I'm worried about my own dang health. I'm not trying to worry about you. But here's the thing. I have the fix, but you have to pay me for it. But, it's okay. What the heck were we talking about, though? Oh, employees. So, yes. Volume, transaction related. And then Jen, can you speak about the importance of defining your competitive advantage? Listen, absolutely. This is a big missing thing again. And we could just sit, I hope that these are some of the takeaways. I haven't looked at them yet, but listen, man, these are big issues in the healthcare industry. This is actually, honestly, this is one of the things that I went and I was talking about this, foreshadowing this. I went to Jay Abraham and I said, listen, I want you and I to collaborate and put together some really cool shit for healthcare professionals, because these people are really screwed up in their head. Because to a normal business person, when you say how important is it for you to define your competitive advantage, they're like, duh, how do you have a business without one? But then when we go into healthcare, people get weird about it. Like, well, I don't want to say like I'm better than anybody else. Like, well, I don't want to embarrass my mentors. I'm not trying to say like I'm better than Shawn. He's the instructor. Like, and it's all this weirdness. Like, you need to define your competitive advantage, or else you don't have an advantage. You're just like everybody else. And somebody who steps out, listen, by the way, that's why it's so easy to win in the healthcare world, because we're dealing with a bunch of vanilla beans. Everybody's the same. Nobody wants to stand out, and what stands out gets remembered. And the first person who's willing to step out and do and always have something to. Listen, Christine Thiel was saying, now I'm getting calls from other people. Christine's in IPO. We're tracking, we're about 4, 5, 6 months in IPO. And she's saying, I'm getting calls from other people in my community, other business leaders who are trying to figure out what I'm doing. That's how valuable this is, because what stands out gets remembered. Her always have something to invite people to offer is called Seattle Thaw. It's freaking genius. And now everybody else in her community standing around with their hands in their pocket, wondering how the hell these guys did what they did. You could do the same thing too. It's not like magic. It's not like you got to be an IPO. IPO just makes it easier because we hold your hand. Private coaching, we're holding your hand more, but we're not saying anything different. Ask Chris Cool. It's this stuff. It's the same thing. If you're not implementing, I mean, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So you need to define your competitive advantage, what makes you stand out over your competition. Maybe you're faster. Maybe you have more training. Maybe you have better hours. Maybe you have special financing options, whatever it is. We need to know how you stand out. And then that's a marketing piece. You got to put that all over the world, so that people know why they should see you over everybody else. I would just ask you that as well. Why should somebody see you over any other person that does the exact same dang thing as you? Why? One would be trust, because they trust me and I'm their most trusted advisor. I'm seeing that in other coaching groups too. Love it. But hey, listen, that's a BDC thing that we talk about from Jay Abraham, because we teach you the strategies. Everything we're doing is to get you to become Seattle Thaw turns you into the most trusted advisor. Why? Because you have a cool event once a month and you play cool games. All right, let's see. We've got a lot. All right. We got a lot. Excellent. All right, so I have a Chiro sushi. Obviously, I gotta read through these though, because you have a lot. Thank you guys. Listen, when you give a talk, you should do this too. This lets me know whether or not I was effective or not. Because if there were no people going to the quantum, then this would have been a poorly put together effort, and we wouldn't do this. Like, why would we get together again? But when I'm getting a lot of responses here that say, hey, listen, this is what I'm committed to doing, that makes me feel really, 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 really good. All right, so we had multiple contributions tonight from Danielle Komaraski Van. So I'm going to give you the Chiro Sushi tickets. Danielle, you're going to Chiro Sushi. And then Mile High Chiropractic. Let's see, that is going to go to, oh, we got a winner here. That is going to go to Gerald Palms. Gerald Palms to Mile High. Not far for you. You can make it, Gerald. Over there in Denver from San Diego. Congratulations, Danielle. Congratulations, Gerald. Congratulations, Jennifer Trent. Congratulations, Shane Zimmer. But congratulations, you. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. It's been a while. I appreciate you spending the time here. There's no other group like this. No other group where we can get 162 comments and just, vamp, improvise. It's like John Coltrane and Miles Davis, but we're doing business, not jazz. And we're just bouncing ideas off of each other, trying to get better. I appreciate you. I appreciate your referrals. Allison, thank you for all of the people that you send our way, and everybody else who's out there pushing Black Diamond Club to grow your network of 90, to grow your gang of 5. And hopefully your list of 20 gets on your network of 90 and we see them in Black Diamond Club. We're coming to Minneapolis. Thank you, Jennifer Liu, for putting together a great event in Melbourne. Had a great time. We're going to do it again in Minneapolis. And listen, when you see Lacey and I's schedule and we're coming to your area, if you want us to speak to your network, you let us know. We put it together. We're just trying to cover our costs with the fees. We'll make sure that we put on an amazing show. And most importantly, we'll make sure that you look like a rock star and that you come out of that event with people equipped to unload referrals on you, because they better understand the madness that we're doing here in Black Diamond Club. Thank you, guys. We super appreciate you. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you soon. If you are at an event, if you're at the New York Chiropractic Council at Lyceum at Sherman coming up, please run up and grab me by the shirt and tell me, hey, you got to stop me. I'd love to say hi. I'd love to spend some time with you, hear how you're doing. Also celebrate your wins, but also help you through the challenges. Have a great night. See ya.